Attorney Oxmer, can you go over estate taxes and how that works? And one of the limitations of being dual citizen is if you are um, living here and you have assets here and you have assets in the Philippines, what is something important that U.S. persons need to know about estate taxes?
Well, under the Philippine law, the current status of tax laws, citizens and or residents of the Philippines are taxed for their worldwide estate. So, if you're a Filipino, you will be taxed for your worldwide estate, and the only status where someone is taxed for properties only located in the Philippines or found in the Philippines is where you are a non-resident alien. So yes, we do have tax treaties, but the misconception is it applies to all types of taxes. But when you go through the records of tax treaties we have with countries, it related to income tax. We do not have yet any tax treaty on estate taxes. We do have a provision on tax credit in our tax laws, but the application is very limited.
All right, I have a question for each of you so that our audience can see the difference between estate taxes in the United States and estate taxes in the Philippines. So, Dr. Gervasio, can you go over if you are a US person, how does estate taxes work when you pass away? Like the calculation of it, for example, like if you have this much, they will tax you this much, just roundabout figures. And then, same question for you, Attorney Oxumer, in the Philippines, with respect to Philippine law, how do they calculate estate taxes generally? For example, this much, and then it's calculated at this rate.
So, from a U.S. perspective, the estate taxes work this way. So, the U.S. Will tax you on your worldwide assets. In other words, the estate taxes are applied whenever someone dies for the right to transfer assets to loved ones. And currently, the estate tax rate in the U.S. is set at 40%. It's a huge amount. However, we have this concept or what we call an exclusion from the estate tax that is available to all U.S. persons. In other words, if you are considered a U.S. person or a U.S. citizen or a U.S. resident, then you are able to pass on or give as much as 11.58 million currently in 2020 to anyone you want. Other than spouses, there's another exception for spouses. However, you can pass up to 11.58 million and not be subject to that 40% estate tax. However, the bad thing about the estate tax in the U.S., as Attorney Oxumer mentioned a few minutes ago, is that you are going to be subject to the estate tax on your worldwide assets as a U.S. person. So that means regardless of where your properties are located, the U.S. will tax your assets when it's transferred to your loved ones.
In the Philippines, fortunately the rate is lower. By virtue of the new law, the rate is 6%. It's a flat rate of 6%. For as to exclusion amount, it's also very low. The 11.58 million Dr. Ray was talking about is in dollars. In the Philippines, for residents and citizens of the Philippines, the standard deduction is 5 million pesos, and you can claim an additional 10 million pesos for family, a total of readily 15 million pesos. If you're a non-resident alien, the maximum amount you can claim is 500,000 pesos.
That's a huge difference. Attorney Oxumer, for the non-resident alien, how does that work? So you are not a citizen of the Philippines, but you own assets that are located inside of the country. And
That's correct.
for example, you own a nice high-rise condo in Metro Manila worth so much. You are not a citizen there. That amount applies to you.
Correct.
Okay. So would you say then there's a benefit because if you are a citizen, that exemption amount is higher?
Yes, there is a benefit if you're a citizen, but you should always consider uh, the other citizenship, right? The 11.58 exclusion is not a fixed exclusion amount. It changes over time. What about in a few years where they change it again? You cannot take advantage of that. Today, it is an advantage because you can claim the exclusion amount, and it practically covers the whatever amount of estate you have in the Philippines.
Actually, in 2025, there is going to be a change in that exclusion amount. It's going back down to 5.6 million,
Mhm.
which is a substantially lower amount.
And to Attorney Oxomer's point, unless it's changed yet again. So again, we don't know. This taping is done in May of 2020 during lockdown pandemic. So, you know, if you're listening to this, depending on when you're listening to us, please make sure that you check in with us. Again, thank you very much for joining us. We are Phil Am Lawyers. We assist U.S. persons with their Philippine assets. On behalf of my attorney partners, Chester Ogsomer and Dr. Ray Gervasio, please visit us on our website at philamlawyers.com. Thank you. Have a great day.